Hello, sisters and brothers of the world. Eddie Marcus here one more time. I want to talk to you about love. Love, O-V-E. Love is not an itching in your pants that says you want to get down. Love is an itching in your heart that says you are around. And every human on earth is a friend of yours, but more than that, a brother or a sister. It's blood. And you love them. Some of them live in the same household with you, so you might even call them your children. Some of them live down the street, you might call your neighbors. Some of them live in a different state. Some of them might live in a different world. But if you got love in your heart, you got the same love for the one around the world as you do in your house. Now, I admit that today we live under a system that does not allow you or does not permit officially for you to express love the way it should be. But when you don't express love the way it should be, it's because you do not know love. To know love means you do not conform to anything else. Not knowing love, we were subjected to the anti-love, greed, selfishness, and that is who we really are. And we sometimes think, well, we got to provide for that wife. We got to provide for that daughter, that son. And you do. But you also got to make sure that the sons and daughters down the street are provided for. And you also got to make sure that the sons and daughters and sisters and brothers over in Mexico, over in Central America, over in North Korea, in Africa, in Asia, in India, you got to make sure that their needs are met as well. That's what love will do. And if you leave one of them out, it's because you do not know love and you will be held accountable. What do I mean by that? If there's a place that's called heaven outside of this earth, you got to qualify to get there. And qualifying to get there means you got to know love. And the only thing I can see for a person on this earth down here, in regards to God, in regards to life and peace and prosperity, is that you learn love. You got to learn love where you're at. And you can't make a statement like you love and think that means something. You can't go to church and think that means you love. No, love means exactly what it is. It means you can't sleep, you can't stand up straight knowing that somebody's getting abused by Satan. Knowing that somebody's being misused by hate and prejudice and racism. You say, I don't know anything about that. God doesn't hold me that close. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Why does God hold you so close? Because if you found yourself in that situation, if you found yourself in Haiti, if you found yourself at the borders with that caravan, you would want to see God. You're hoping. You might not have ever seen God where you come from. You might even be living in America, and you never seen God, never heard of God, but you keep hoping. But I tell you what, if you run across God, you're going to have to step outside of that circle, because everybody in America, regardless of how much they love God or not, they can put up with people in this country having only food when somebody hands them out a bag of food, or they go to a shelter. There are people in this country who are satisfied with folks who don't have shelter, people living in tents on the side of the highway. There are people in this country satisfied with the fact that people don't have access to education. And if they do, it's restricted to that part which is free, 1st through 12th grade in public school. Okay? And if you can't get health care, how can you love God when there are people in this nation can't have it? You say, well, the law doesn't permit it. Yes, the law does not permit it, but it is your job as a lover to straighten out all of that which is wrong. Let me say it one more time. It is your job as a lover to straighten out all that which is wrong. And if they kill you, you got to stand anyway, joyously, and accept that killing. You got to, oh, I know you're going to be scared. You might have to go to Gethsemane and fall on your knees and pray. You might have to get up and go in the bathroom and sit down by the toilet and pray. But when you get up off your knees, you know your destiny. Destiny calls. And either you're real or you're fake. Go forward, you're real. Stop. Hesitate, you're fake. But at least you will know, because the world already knows how you really are. So my message to all of us today is what love is about. I know y'all think that we're the greatest lovers in the world, but I want you to know what you don't know about your country. Your country is built on the foundation of Satan. Let me say it one more time. America is built on the foundation of Satan. What do I mean by that? Hate, prejudice, racism, bigotry, slavery, selfishness, greed. That's what this nation is founded on. And those are all, my friends, adjectives that are used, or nouns, pronouns, whatever you want to call them, that describes the anti-God. You want to hear it again? It describes the anti-God. And while you might say, well, I don't take part in that, but you live in it, and are you doing anything to straighten it out? Well, every now and then I say a voice where I can. They love you. The devil just loves you. You ain't hitting on nothing. But God loves you. And so you find a guy like me who will pray to have courage enough to stand before you and tell you that you are not what you think you are. Knowing that you believe with all your heart, and the fact that I stand before you and say that to you make you want to slap me, which should tell you that you just confirmed what I said. If I told you the truth, even whether you disagreed or not, you would want to slap me. You would want to show me love, how much of God you got in you. Remember, for those of you who are Christians, Jesus went to the cross. But before you remember that Jesus went to the cross, they promised Jesus if he would serve Donald Trump, if he would serve the devil, that they would give him, that would be his job, just do what the devil wants. Like Donald Trump is trying to get all his people to want. He wants everybody to serve him. Donald Trump wants every department to bow to him because he got more understanding in his good than all the human beings. And hell, he might, because if you're going on what man got in his head and you're evaluating that in his actions, he's just as wrong as Donald Trump. Let me say it again. He's just as wrong as Donald Trump. The thing of it is, ladies and gentlemen, is that when Jesus was here, for those of you who read the story and believe it, they offered him all of the health care he could ever need. He said, not good enough. They offered him all of the education he could ever need. He said, it's not good enough. They offered him all the food, clothing, and shelter that he could ever need. They offered him the power to be able to force everybody to bow down to his will, as long as his will is connected to Donald Trump. Is connected to Satan or the devil. And he looked at him, ladies and gentlemen. I can imagine. Some people explain it like he went down to Gethsemane and he's on his knees crying, Lord God, take this cup away from me. But I've been through a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. The only times I was about to go to death, there was a power that I couldn't see, couldn't touch, couldn't feel that came by and saved me. But after the salvation or the saving, I knew good well it was God. And so he went on up to that cross, just like I did when I went to prison. And for him, I can imagine, to be hanging up on a tree, looking out over the world, a world that did not understand a thing he said or did. Didn't understand it. Mother, look at him. Looking at him on that tree. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing that two things he felt. One was sorrow that the people didn't get it. I mean, immense sorrow that the people didn't get it. The other thing he felt was joy. Unspeakable joy that he was able to come in this hell, walk through this hell, and not be touched in it. He was moved, but not touched. And to stay that way, he had to go up on that cross. And what is he saying to all of you Christians in America? What is he saying to all of you Christians around the world? He says, follow me. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. That didn't mean believe in me. What the stank does believe mean? Believe means nothing. You got to know. And if you know, you show. How do you show? By doing. And if you think you know, but you ain't showing and you ain't doing, you don't know. So, what am I saying? For love, you will eagerly go to the cross. You won't sit around here waiting to be 100 years old, praying that Jesus come and save you so you don't have to die. You won't necessarily be picking up guns, going to war, killing anybody. Even though I do believe, without a doubt, that it would be practical and righteous in the world's way for those people who put on guns and go out and kill people in the name of this evilness, or die in the name of this evilness. They should come back in this world or wherever you come from, and they should be given everything that they need. Just like, in other words, the world should be God to them. Everything they need, want, or desire. They paid the price, and they should get it. If nobody else in this ungodly world get it, they should, because they are the ones who put their lives on the line. They are the ones who killed for the devil. But they got to come back homeless, poor health care, can't find a decent job, housing can be complicated, all those kinds of problems. Well, I just made a comment on that. Back to the real thing. Listen to me, preachers who got to go to work, who got to go out there to that job, get that paycheck from the world's way of living, and then go up in the pulpit on Sunday mornings and try to tell somebody about God's way. Because you read a book, because you remember some scriptures. You up there trying to tell somebody about God's way when every day you are serving Satan. You say, I got a job. No, ladies and gentlemen, you're working for Satan. Doing that for a paycheck. Yes, we've been tricked. Some of us learned to think that you know what that means. You really don't know what it means. It really means that God has been set down and man becomes God. Man's will, what those things that are important to man, are the things that they're saying must be important to you. And the paycheck that you get, if you're lucky to get one, that says that you agree with them and they're paying you for your submission. For those of you who receive welfare, who receive what you call survival benefits and stuff like that, old age pension, I want you to know you've been robbed. You've been totally robbed. They've been robbed so much till they just took you out and said, we're going to give you this little bit to sustain you until you die. Hurry up and die. And that's the world we live in. That's the exact world we live in. Now, those who are born again see the world for what it is. But not just that world. They see heaven. And being on earth, they know that they are instruments, that the will of heaven is done right here on earth. It is their job, it is their responsibility to see that it's done. And it is no piece of loving, no woman or man, no mother or father, no sons or daughters, no parents, and definitely no system of laws is going to cause one that's led by love to conform. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now I know telling you the truth like this, you don't want to hear it. You probably got nothing decent to say about me, but I got a lot of decent things to say about you. One is that God still loves you. And even though I know how you feel about me for standing before you, how dare I stand before you and say I got something going that you don't? I have to take that. One thing about it, I know that what I'm doing will get me killed just for doing it. You ain't even got to listen. Just let me do it. Is what you're doing will get you killed for just doing it? Think about it. Bye-bye. There's something about this damn cord.